Hi guys, welcome back to my podcast. It has been a while. I feel like I say that in every single podcast, but it has been a while. It has been a busy few months, it really has. But I'm pretty sure I actually recorded like 2 months ago, so I'm gonna let myself off the hook. It wasn't that bad, but I do want to get back into weekly podcasting because I enjoy it. I love talking, and this is my space where I can come on, I can chat to you guys, and I can literally just talk. Whereas Instagram doesn't allow me to do that. Short form content is not for me, not for someone who likes talking. So anyway, here we are back. I thought I would do a podcast episode today on the presentation that I put together for my client the other day. We did a team call on, we're going into a fresh month, we're going into June. It is currently the 3rd of June, 2026. And we're going into a fresh month. It's a really good chance for us to reflect, but also not only a fresh month, but we're going into the second half of the year. Can you believe we're going into the 6th month of the year, which is just mental. So I think it's a perfect time to reflect, but also it's a really challenging time of the year. Especially in the UK, we've had a lot of sun, which has been amazing. I mean, it's currently raining outside, but we move, that's just welcome to England. But it's a really challenging time of the year because there's a lot of social events, sun's out, there's a lot more things to do than just day-to-day life when it's raining and when it's cold outside. And as much as that's amazing, people can really struggle with their mindset, really struggle with how to handle social events, not having the all or nothing mindset. And I want to do this podcast on, yes, monthly reflect, yes, going into the second block of the year, but also on how to handle summer, how to handle social events, how not to have this all or nothing mindset, because that is the thing that keeps people stuck, is thinking that I can only look after my health and feel good in my skin when everything's perfect. That is what is keeping you stuck. A lot of our clients stay with us for years, through Christmas, through summer, through all the challenging months. And I always say to everyone, if you show yourself that you can still look after your health, still socialize, still enjoy these periods of time, then it's going to make everything else so much easier, and it's a lifestyle change. This is what this is. So firstly, let's go through the first few slides I put together for my clients. So a little bit of a reflection for yourself to do, but how did May go? How was May? Maybe give yourself a little rating out of 10. 1 being absolutely awful, 10 being, yeah, do you know what? I did really well. I'm really proud of myself. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to do it myself on here. I'm going to give myself a 6 or a 7 because it was a good month, but I can show up 10 times more. I know that. And I have this feeling inside of me at the moment that's let's go. I've got so much I want to do. I feel like June has been this fresh reset for me, and I'm excited. But yeah, I give myself a 7. Definitely room for improvement. Okay, so maybe write this down or just have a think. What are you proud of over the last month? What's 1 to 3 things that you're proud of over the last month? And then what is one thing that held you back? And then how will you approach next month differently? Because the only way we can move forward is if we reflect, and we don't do it enough. We should really be reflecting every single day, every single evening, reflecting on our day. How can we improve tomorrow? It's why we don't move the needle forward, because we rinse and repeat. And something I always say is nothing changes or nothing changes. How can you reflect and grow and move forward if we're not learning from our mistakes, if we're not moving forward, if we're not putting things into place to prevent those things from happening again? So if next month was a huge success, what would that look like for you? What I like to do is split mine up into different sections. So it could be your relationship, it could be your friendships, it could be your health, it could be your mindset, it could be your fitness. Maybe split those things up. And ask yourself, how do I want to feel by June the 30th? Because that's going to come around quick, and that's going to be another month. Okay, let's talk about summer. So obviously, like I said, summer is approaching. We've had a little bit of a sprinkle of summer weather, although it's now raining, like I said. But one thing that I popped on here was summer isn't the problem. The problem is that you believe that holidays equal I ruin everything. A barbecue equals, it starts again on Monday. A weekend away, do you know what? I'll just start again Monday. What's the point? Guys, the whole start again Monday thing, Monday is just a day. Someone made that up to be a fresh start. Don't get me wrong, I friggin' love a Monday, love a fresh month, love a fresh start. But if you're always saying you're going to start again every week and it's going to be perfect, you're never going to get there. How many Mondays have you been saying you're going to get back on track now? Exactly. Progress doesn't disappear after one event. Okay, what causes that regression is your guilt, is the all or nothing thinking, and turning one meal into a whole week. Oh, do you know what? What's the point? I had that takeaway. I'm just gonna go and I'll start again next week. What is that about? If we really deep it, what is that about? Because that one meal, okay, let's say it's 700 calories, 1,000 calories, right? Let's just say, for example. So it takes 3,500 calories above your maintenance to gain 1 pound of body fat. You having one meal out is not going to do anything. It's what happens after that. It's your mindset, the way you spiral. That's the problem. And something I popped here as well is there is always going to be events at every time of the year. There are just different times of the year, like now and like Christmas, where things are a lot busier. If you only work on yourself and your goals when life is perfect, when you've got the time, you're never going to get there. And it will never, ever be a lifestyle. You'll always be dipping in and out of having a negative relationship with food, being unhappy in your body, because you're not treating yourself with that standard and that respect all year round. You're like dipping in and out of it. Guys, this whole journey, I said this to my clients the other day, this whole journey, whether you want to lose weight, whether you want to build muscle, whatever it is about self-respect, it's about self-love, and it's feeling good in your skin. It should be all year round. Now, are there times where we might need to maintain for a few weeks because we might have a few social events or a holiday? Yeah, but it doesn't matter. I'm on a photo shoot prep right now. I'm on a mission to drop a couple more kilos. I went to Ibiza last week. Did I track a single thing? No. Did I eat pasta every day? Yeah. Is anything going to happen? No. Did I come back a little bit watery? Yeah, because I'm holding water. I'm also around my cycle, so that doesn't help. It's fine, nothing happened, you know? Okay, let's talk alcohol. Okay, and this is coming from someone who used to be a massive drinker. I used to drink every Friday, every Saturday, every probably Sunday, and also within the week as well, because I enjoyed it. I'm not gonna lie, I enjoy drinking. I don't anymore because, I don't know, I feel like, I was saying to my cousin the other day, I feel like when I used to drink, I used to feel like there was never gonna be a point where I wouldn't enjoy it. I was like, I'm never gonna get to that point where I don't enjoy it. I love this, but you do. Well, I don't know, not everyone, but I did get to a point where I was like, this just ain't, this is it. This is not for me. But alcohol isn't the problem. Yes, it is going to hinder fat loss, but it's not the problem. It's that it creates you having more cravings, and that therefore it gives you worse food choices because your body is like literally sucked out of dopamine, and it needs more dopamine. Food gives us that dopamine, so therefore it's like, well, and you crave that like salty, sugary foods. Also, your body is lacking in those your salts and your sugars, so therefore you're going to crave more of it. So the next day it's like, I want a Mackey's, you know? That used to be me all the time. Actually, mine was a Domino's. Every single Sunday I woke up, I would order a Domino's hanging out of my ass, and I would order a Chinese in the evening. A lot of money, but there we go. Poor sleep. So the lack of sleep creates more of the hormone called ghrelin. Ghrelin is your hormone that makes you feel hungry. So poor sleep equals hunger and cravings. And then the right off the weekend mindset. Oh, do you know, I've had a few drinks, I've eaten out. Like, what's the point? I'll start again Monday. That's what's holding you back. That's what was holding me back for so long. So it's not the drinks that set you back. It's the 8 drinks, the takeaway, the I'll start again Monday mindset. It's your mindset. So I have popped here, and I'll share this with you guys, some low calorie alcohol options. Slimline gin and tonic is on average around 61 calories per 25 ml. Compared to like a glass of wine, which is a lot more calories. I'm not saying you can't drink your wine, because I do love a glass of wine, but if you're going to be drinking that all night and you're drinking that all the time, it's going to load up to a load of calories. You are less likely to sit to your deficit if that's your goal. Champagne or Prosecco is around 8 to 9 calories per 125 ml. Vodka, soda and lime is around 55 calories per 25 ml. A hard seltzer, which is like the White Claw hard seltzers, they are sparkling water with alcohol in them, so they're going to be good for you, like, well, not good for you, but they're better for you. 95 calories per can. And then a Coors Light is around 102 calories. So you can see how you can make smarter choices when you are drinking. Like if I'm going to go out drinking, which I rarely do, but say I do, I'll always order like a vodka, lime and soda. No, I won't. That's an absolute lie. I don't know why I said vodka, lime and soda. I would never order that. I don't like that, but I would order a vodka Diet Coke, you know? Okay, let's talk about hangovers, because hangovers are a big one that used to catch me off guard. So guys, the worst thing you can do is tell yourself that you're not going to be hungover and you're going to go to the gym the next day and you're going to do this and you're going to do that, and you set all these high expectations for yourself. You are probably not going to do that, and that's okay. So how can you prepare? So you can make sure that you are prepared in terms of making sure your meals are prepped. If you're going out on a Saturday, you probably know on a Sunday you're going to feel a bit sluggish. So why don't you make sure that all your meals are prepped for the next few days on a Friday or on a Saturday morning before you go out? You know, getting your food shop delivery and making sure there's no temptation in the house of those foods that you know you're going to lean towards, and making sure your meals are prepped for the next day so that you're more likely to have those rather than a takeaway because it's there, and make sure it tastes nice. So it's just making sure that you're preparing for that. If you know that you're probably not likely to get your gym session in, make sure you get your gym sessions in throughout the week so you can have that rest day on a Sunday without that guilt. Okay, stop self-sabotaging. I want you to think about how many meals do you eat per week? Just think about it whilst I'm talking. How many meals do you have per week? Okay, so on average, that's going to be around 20 to 24 meals a day. Sorry, 20 to 24 meals a week. I wish it was 24 meals a day. 20 to 24 meals a week, right? Depending on how many you have a day. If you're like me, I have 5 a day. So therefore, like, you know, it can add up. What is one meal going to do? Say you go out for one meal a week. What's that one meal going to do? Why are you acting like you've just ruined the other 23 meals? You haven't. It's a barbecue. It's one pizza. It's one date night. It's one cocktail or a few. That's not the reason you can't see results. It's because after that, you spiral, right? Your mindset is your superpower. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be consistent. And that doesn't mean perfectly consistent. You don't need to have one night out to spiral the rest of your week. I had the same conversation with a client yesterday who goes out, she loves Prosecco, she likes to go out with her friends, and because she did a photo shoot a few months ago, she won't mind me saying this, because she did a photo shoot a few months ago where she was fully locked in, she voice noted me yesterday and was like, oh, I just feel like I'm not on track. Like, you know, I'm sticking to my nutrition. I'm doing this. I'm doing all the stuff that she should be doing, which is why she's still progressing. But I still love to go out on the weekend and have a drink. And I was like, that's absolutely fine. By the way, you're still dropping weight. You're actually lower weight than you were in your photo shoot, by the way. It's just our mindset, you know? So progress over perfection always. And remember, summer is meant to be enjoyed. You're supposed to enjoy summer. It's not a time for you to give up on your goals though. You can still go to the gym. You can still get your steps in. You can still eat, you know, relatively well around these events. It's just how we organize things, right? Obsessing over every bite is not going to help you. We're here to feel strong, confident, and in charge of our lives, not like something else is controlling it. So I also want to talk about the science of fat gain, so you guys understand that you going out and enjoying your social events is not the thing holding you back or the thing that's making you gain weight. It's everything else around that. So in order to gain approximately 1 pound of body fat, you need around 3,500 calories above your maintenance calories. That is a lot. Now you might be like, yeah, but Ash, I ate out the weekend, it's still on the scales, I was 2 kilos heavier. Yeah, me too. I went out to Ibiza last week, I stood on the scales, I was 2 kilos heavier. Have I put on 2 kilos worth of body fat? Absolutely not. So what is it? Water, sodium. It's water retention. So it's not that, oh my God, I ate at McDonald's, I've put on 2 pounds. No, you haven't. You put on 2 pounds, yeah, of water, not body fat. But if you then just go, oh, fuck it, I'm just going to eat whatever isn't, yeah, you probably will then gain body fat because you're going to be over your calories. So it's the way we manage that. So how do we reduce water retention? Hydration. Here we are, drink with me. Cheers. Protein, whole foods. Eating whole foods. If you have a high processed diet full of processed foods, high sodium, guess what? Your body's going to retain the water. So eating whole foods, fruits, veggies, avocados, nut butters, foods that are actually good for you. I try and approach it with like an 80-20 approach. I'm not like a obsessive whole foods kind of girl, but they do make me feel good. So I will try and make sure that 80% of my diet is from whole foods and 20% I'll obviously, you know, enjoy. Movement, going for walks. It helps your digestion. It's going to minimize water retention. And sleep. Sleep is a massive recovery tool, guys. We really minimize how much sleep does for our health. If I don't get a good night's sleep, my scale weight goes up by 2 kilos. I am not even joking. So that is just like something to think about. And also I popped on here as well for the girls on my team, like the 80-year-old version of you. Will she care that you ate the pizza? No. Will she care that you had the dessert? No. Will she care that you went and enjoyed a holiday? No, she's going to want you to do all of that. But on the flip side of that, what she is going to care about is, did you look after yourself majority of the time? Are you in a strong, healthy place? Did you enjoy life? Did you build your confidence? Did you keep showing up? So on the flip side, you've got to think of her as someone who is rooting for you now to look after your health, but also she's rooting for you to enjoy life, make memories, switch off, enjoy the pizza. And also I've popped on here that I want to share with you guys is fact versus story. So facts help us solve problems and move forward, and stories keep us stuck. So just some ideas of some facts is I had a takeaway on Friday. That's a fact. But the story you tell yourself after that is, I've ruined everything. No, you haven't. You had a takeaway. Move on. Secondly, I missed 2 workouts. Okay. But then you're telling yourself, that's a fact. I missed 2 workouts. Cool, get to it the next day. But what you tell yourself is, oh, I failed everything. I'm inconsistent. I can't stick to this. I give up. Because you missed 2 workouts. You see how your mindset is everything? And the other fact is my weight went up by 2 pounds. Yeah, your weight might have gone up by 2 pounds. So did mine by 2 kilos. But you tell yourself, oh, I'm gaining fat. I can't stick to this. I give up. I'm never going to be where I want to be. Yeah, they're all self-sabotage things you tell yourself. They're not facts. It's a story you tell yourself. The more you fix that, the more you can move forward. And then the next thing I want to talk about is the next best decision. So say you did have your takeaway, say you did miss your workout that day, say you didn't get your steps in, whatever it is, ask yourself, what's the best next decision I can make? For example, if you had a takeaway, cool, I can have protein at my breakfast tomorrow. I can get a good night's sleep tonight. I can drink my water. Okay, you missed a workout, cool, go for a walk. Yeah, you can go for a walk. Overate yesterday, cool, get back to normal today. Or overate for breakfast, lunch, cool, you've got the rest of the day left. So many of us catastrophize. Oh my God, it's 12 o'clock. I've stuck to nothing today. You've got the whole day ahead of you. Oh my God, it's Thursday. I've ruined the week. You've still got 4 days left of the week. It's perspective. Perspective is everything. And so what if you did say, oh, fuck it, and you overdid it? What happens next? You're not a failure. You just had a moment. You're not a robot. You're a human. We all have them. So let's not turn one bad day into a bad week. How you can bounce back is step 1, you can own it. Take responsibility, no excuses. That happened. Be aware. By the way, I did a whole podcast on this, but your excuses aren't going anywhere. We all have excuses, and the more that we can lean into them and learn about them and give them like grace and be like, okay, that's an excuse I make quite often. How can I overcome that? How can I prepare for that to come up next time? The more we can move forward. So be aware, oh, that keeps coming up. I made that excuse. You're a grown woman. You're not a robot. Take responsibility. That's a hard pill to swallow sometimes. Step 2, reflect. Don't regret. Reflect. Okay, what happened? What was the trigger? Was it stress? Was it lack of planning? Was it emotional eating? That data helps you then move forward. Step 3, move on fast. Next meal, get back to normal. No skipping, no making up for it, no doing endless amounts of cardio, just getting back to normal. And then step 4, what you could do is journal on it. Okay, what happened? My boss really pissed me off at work and I ended up going towards the cookies that Susan brought into work. Did I actually want the cookies? No, but they looked really freaking good and he pissed me off. I needed some comfort. Being self-aware is the most important thing. If you're not self-aware, we can't move forward, you know? So getting out of your head removes that power and it gives you the power back. So what else have I popped on here? I think the final thing after all of that is understanding that you can actually enjoy life. You can go out and have a few drinks. You can go out and have a few meals. All of my clients have 1 meal a week that they don't track, that they enjoy, they switch off. And I think that is so important for having a healthy relationship with food. So let's go on to June goal setting. I want you to think about 2 goals that you want to set for your health, for your mindset, and for your personal life. And then write them down on a whiteboard. I recommend. I have 2 whiteboards. So I have one for my quarter and then one per month. And write your goals down as if they've already happened. So powerful, guys. Don't write them down like, I would like. No, you are. Step into that. Believe in yourself. Make it scare you. If your goals don't scare you, they're not big enough. And your brain responds differently to like when you've told yourself you're going to do something because it's like a commitment. It's like, oh my God. And it's meant to feel uncomfortable. You might be like, yeah, but I don't want to write that down because then I've got to do it. And that fear of failure kicks in. Another podcast episode I've done. But we can't move forward if we're always letting that hold us back. We have to lean into that fear and go for it. So I hope that has helped, guys. I will be back next week with another podcast episode. If you have any guest speakers or any like topics that you want me to cover, please do let me know. Thank you for joining me again, and I will speak to you soon.